Okay, so this is the document that I start. Um, so there's a couple May Day poems, and then I just wanted to kind of follow up on something that I introduced last week. There was that one short story called "Falling into Place," and that was the one about the suicide that takes place, and it's of a music student, and it's written in about 6 different perspectives. So that's a very elaborate, fragmented narrative. And I wanted to share one with you that a former student about 10 years ago wrote, and it's also a fragmented narrative. It's a little more, and I think it's maybe more linear in some ways, but it's still quite fragmented. And it's one that she uses different text forms. Some of it is simply lists, and there's a mix of poetry and prose in it. And then I wanted to give some time to have you work on a proposal for your final project. I know I introduced it last week. I'm not sure how many people have actually committed anything to paper. And then maybe at the very end, there's one new piece that came out of the artifact number 3 that'd be nice to share. And then time permitting, and if you need it, there's a writing prompt that maybe just might be useful for generating new ideas. Okay, so all of these poems here, there's 2 poems I want to share, and they're both in the file folder. So yeah, they're both in here. Now, today is May 1st, and around the world, it's celebrated by workers. In most major European cities, there'll be huge parades, demonstrations. And there's one poem here I just want to share with you. She's from a Canadian poet. She used to teach at the University of Victoria, and she's a former carpenter. And she's actually written a number of books and has co-authored some other books. So this one is called These Hips. So I'll just read from this one. Some hips are made for bearing children, built like stools, square and easy, right for the passage of birth. Others are built like mine. A child's head might never pass, but load me up with 2x4s and watch me bear. When the men carry sacks of concrete, they hold them high like boys. I bear mine low like a girl on small, strong hips built for the birth of buildings. And then this other poem here, it's a longer poem. I don't know if I'll read it, but a really, really famous American poet named Philip Levine. And he won the Pulitzer Prize. I think he also won the Nobel Prize for Literature. He comes from Detroit. And he actually made, like most of his poems are single stanza poems. And this is quite a long one. So, and it basically tells the story of working class people in, pretty tough times. And this is actually the title. I'm pretty sure this is the title of the collection as well, yeah. So the poem, What Work is from the same collection. So I just wanted to share that with you. And just kind of recognize that a lot of really good poetry has been written by like people who didn't come to writing as their first career. Like Kate Braid, she was a carpenter for, I believe, 20 years. All right, so let me see where we are. All right, so those are for you to kind of read and enjoy. Now the other one, okay, what I really want to kind of focus on right now is artifact number 4, and maybe just giving you some ideas for how to approach it. Um, and so with this one idea of a fragmented narrative, it's basically means that you can tell the narrative in pieces. Like you don't have to, it doesn't have to be connected in a straight line. And you can leave huge gaps. So I think one of the things that personally, I like looking at the work that came out of this artifact number 3, some of you are getting kind of more comfortable with just telling a piece of a story and just leaving lots of open space, either just to have the reader live with the ambiguity or just allow the reader to just kind of fill in the gaps. All right, so with this one, okay, I've also put it in, pretty sure I put it in right at the top. All right, so in Dave's file folder for topic 4, in fact, maybe probably this would be a good time for everybody to actually go into the PowerSchool class and open this up yourself, because it's a fairly large document. It's about, I think it's about 14 pages long. So it'll open as a PDF. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute just to give people time to open it up. So Olivia, were you able to open it up? Yeah? Okay. And how about Amira?
Yeah.
Okay. And Trinity, nice to have you here. So Trinity, were you able to find that document, the chapbook? Okay, how about Liv?
I'm still looking for it. What part of the file is it in?
Okay, it's at the very top of the file. It's called, you need to go into the group wiki.
Okay.
It's in topic 4.
Okay.
And it's in Dave's file folder.
Okay.
Okay. Can anybody, Trinity, it looks like you're muted. Okay, I can hear something, but I can't hear your voice. Okay. Now, Pete, were you able to open up that chapbook? Okay. So Trinity, I can't tell. Were you able to open it up? Okay, good. Okay, so okay, I'll screen share again. Okay, so with this document, so I scanned it, and it's kind of interesting. Just to give you some backstory on how this was created. Okay, Laura was in. I met Laura at a learning center in very small groups, very small classes, and she was taking English 12, and she was taking creative writing 12. And so one of the things that she did is she did a lot of journaling. And so she journaled lots and lots. And one of the things she would journal a lot about was either her son, who was 2 years old, and she was, I think, 19 at the time. And she also journaled a lot about her the process of her going through recovery and treatment for various drug addictions. And she kind of came up with this. It just kind of emerged that she divided it into 12 different sections, which, as many of you know, like most of the addiction and recovery programs are based on 12 steps. So this kind of just emerged. And if you scroll through this, you'll just see that some sections are just straightforward prose, like paragraphs, sentences and paragraphs. And then some of them are quite different. So like section number 3, it kind of starts off at prose, but then it kind of morphs into poetry. And number 4, the rules for a newcomer, and that's the name for somebody who is new to the treatment program, is simply a list. And then she came up with a schedule of the day-to-day schedule in this treatment program. And it's simply a list. And so more prose. And then there's one section here, it's quite interesting. Like section number 10 is straight dialogue. And so she played around a little bit with text, and the last one I would consider a poem. So part of it, what made this a really good project is she shared it with her treatment group, because she attended AA meetings, and it became a really, really important thing for her to put down on paper. And so the reason I'm kind of just sharing it with you right now is just to give you a sense that like she's telling basically a good 5 years of her life in this chapbook. And a chapbook is it's a term used for a very small collection of writing. And at the very last page, hopefully, I wonder if it came out well. It didn't. The color didn't come out, but it's got a color. This is the cover, and it's yellow and red. So I don't know, I'd like to give you a little bit of time here. I'll stop sharing. But I'd like to give you a little bit of time just to explore it, and just maybe see if there's something that you could see using yourself. So I'm thinking maybe, like how long do you think you would need? Maybe 10 minutes? Would that be enough to give it a good skim?
I'd say so.
Topic 4 isn't popping up for me, only up to topic 3.
Okay, anybody else that it's not showing up?
It's showing up for me. Can you hear me now? Or
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
okay, good.
Do you want me to screen share, because then you can see what I'm seeing?
Sure.
So at the side here, it only goes up to topic 3 for some reason.
Okay, I don't know why that is. Can you just click on topic 3? Okay, and then if you can you get into the group wiki? And okay, now this is weird. So topic 4 is showing up for you, but it's only showing up in the group wiki.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's super weird.
It is weird. right, so if people want to take, why don't we, let's take about 10 minutes and just see if, like you can just read, like what I suggest is just look at a section and maybe just skim the first bit. And if you find it interesting, keep going. Section 9 is probably one of my favorites. It's very, very, very descriptive. All right, so I'm just going to pause the recording.